All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Nurse Teresa.
And today we're going to talk about the fact that our eBay store is sick. It's definitely sick. And we believe yours probably is too. And when I say sick, I don't mean like in a good way, like it's sick. I mean it's...
Like it's hot, it's on fire. No,
it's ailing. It's poorly. Ill. Yes, it has some issues. So we're going to talk about why we think that, or why our store is sick, and see if it applies to yours today as well. But first, we've actually got some items that need to go out. We had a pretty big weekend this weekend.
We did.
We're running a pretty steep sale on old items, so we're going to get to those. What's the first one that sold?
We sold a Reseller. We sold a WWE.
Is it Kurt Angle?
Would you let me finish my description?
There he is.
It is a SummerSlam basic wrestling figure, Kurt Angle, something. Oh, that's a part number. I don't need that.
That's actually back from the days when I watched wrestling, and I didn't watch wrestling a lot. Well, we did kind of a lot, but just for a few years. So I recognize that one. That's him in his super American flag outfit.
He looks like a popcorn bucket.
He kind of does. He was actually an Olympic wrestler.
He sold for $14.99 plus shipping.
All right, what do you got next?
Department 56. We sold the Melancholy Tavern from the Christmas Carol Revisited. Yep. It does not have a light, so don't always not pick them up just because they have a light. They don't have the light with them.
You can pick the lights up anywhere.
You can.
So
I just choose not to.
It's the sad tavern. That's what it looks like. That's what melancholy means.
Oh, well, that's depressing. But he was out of our whoopsie buy, like my first one that they wanted to take back money.
Oh, that's right.
Take back items.
They renegotiated the deal as we were getting there.
Yep.
So that's the one that sold for how much?
$24.99 plus shipping.
All right, back for another sticker feature. Let's go see what we got.
We are.
All right, who's it going to be today?
We have this one. It is Atomic Circus Resale. He does not have YouTube. His name is Justin. He does not have YouTube, but he has that website that links to his eBay store.
Yep. Thanks for sending us the sticker, Justin. So go
Thank
check
you.
out. Well, maybe we can throw a link to the eBay store up or something.
We can throw a link to his website up.
There you go. All right. All right. So our store, something we've noticed more and more as we resell longer, is our store keeps getting bigger and bigger. And we always kind of looked at that as growth. I mean, a store grows, that's a good thing, right?
No.
But no, not so much.
Not necessarily.
I think we're starting to recognize it as, I don't know, kind of, it's getting bloated, but it's actually more serious than bloat. I would say it's closer to early
Hoarding?
onset diabetes or something. Like, it's not good that our store keeps growing.
No.
What I'm seeing happening is no matter how good of a picker you are, no matter how well you know your niche, and no matter how good of an eye you have, you don't hit it out of the park 10 out of 10 times when you're picking.
Nope.
So even if you're damn near perfect and 9 out of 10 of your items sell in that 90 days that you want them to sell through, you have one that's inevitably a bad pick.
Yep, and it's going to sit there.
Yep. And then you're going to go sourcing again next week, and you're going to have at least the one that sits there. And over time, that builds up like a belly on a chubby guy. And I know a little bit about that. It's not healthy, right?
It's not just chubby guys.
It's not just chubby guys. It's everybody. So we're addressing everybody here. Not about the fat. We're not fat shaming. We're talking about your eBay store. So over time, it gets more and more bloated in your store, and you have those items that just are kind of dead items for several different reasons. But then your store gets bigger and bigger, which means your sell-through rate of your overall store is going down.
Yep.
And that means you have a less efficient store, you have a less healthy store with a worse sell-through rate. And overall, I think that does affect your eBay sales on a bigger scale. I don't think it's just the dead items. I think the health of your store actually matters.
I think so.
I don't have scientific proof on that. I can't say that this is the number if you have this sell-through rate and this is the number if you don't. But it makes sense to me that a sick store is a sick store and it doesn't perform as well as a good store.
Correct.
Or a healthy store, as it were.
Yes.
So that's the problem we're talking about today. And we're going to dig deeper into that.
That is our sickness.
That is our current sickness, and we're seeing it big time here. So we're going to address that because it's something we're dealing with now And I'm sure some of you guys have or do deal with this or should deal with this as well. But first, what's sold next?
We sold a Bratz. We sold a 2007 Bratz Kids, which is like the smaller version of the Bratz, Sleepover Adventure Chloe. And she has additional outfits.
I just noticed she's shorter.
She is shorter and her face is smaller.
Yep. So little kid Bratz.
But her feet still work the same. They still just pop on and off.
But they're smaller feet.
Yep.
Okay. So what does the little kids Bratz go for?
$14.99.
That's not bad for a child brat.
For a bratty child.
There you go.
Okay, the next item that sold, I was super thrilled about as soon as I saw it, just because 1, it's Hello Kitty. 2, it's tie-dye. But it is...
And 3 is Build-A-Bear.
Oh, yes, that. So it is a 2014 Build-A-Bear Sanrio. I don't know if that's how you say that for sure. 19-inch watercolor tie-dye plush bear.
Yep.
Hello Kitty.
I'm going to say that's a her.
Hello
She's
Kitty
missing
is a
her
girl.
bow.
She is missing her bow, and I did note that on there.
But other than that, it's super clean. Like there's not stains or anything. Like it's nice and clean. Mm-hmm. What does a Hello Kitty Build-A-Bear go for?
She went for $27.99, and I only paid $5 for her.
Not bad at all. All right, so we need to look at the cause of the sickness. And we kind of addressed one almost accidentally, just telling you what the sickness was. I think this one has many different causes.
It does.
And it's not just bad buys, because we're all going to have bad buys, and we're all going to have that slow build to a less healthy store. But there's actually more things that can cause it than just bad buys. And what are some of those?
There is. So like the 2 that come to mind right away is market change. So something could be hot one day and it could be super cold the next day. So
wooden puzzles comes to mind.
That was a COVID. Sorry, that was a C word thing.
Yeah, those were really hot during the COVID years.
I don't think you're supposed to say COVID.
I don't know. We said it a lot, so we're already in for a penny, in for a pound. It was really hot during the pandemic years, and you could sell them as many as you want for almost any price you want. And that market kind of crashed because people aren't stuck at home anymore. So even though they might have been good buys at the time, you might be sitting on a bunch of them. And if you check the current market, they're just not that good, and certainly not at the prices they were.
Yep. And another thing on market change too is, a big thing is sports. Like a sports team could be doing fabulous this year, and you're seeing stuff sell, and then they go into the next season and they're a crappy team and nobody wants to buy their stuff.
Yep. So the fans that are not true fans, the fans that are
Goodyear fans,
which like we wouldn't know if a sports ball team was doing good or bad no matter what, because we don't watch it. But if you're reselling and you're into sports, you can see those markets change as the teams go up and down.
Yep.
And especially, even individual players are doing good or bad. That can really affect the market. Caitlin Clark's a good one. Like the market for her just went through the roof.
Yeah, now she doesn't even play on the WNBA.
Now she's going to Europe, I heard. So good for her.
The other one that's kind of in conjunction with the market change is mispricing. And we have an example of that one. So in our storage unit our very first storage unit we bought, we got a Mickey and Minnie, I think they're called Golden Key porcelain figures. And there were none listed out there when we listed them probably almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah, and they're in the box. Like the market looked really good. The solds looked really good. And so we priced them accordingly.
Yep.
We actually have them on a half price sale right now.
Yep.
Because they're over the year old of all the stuff we have on the sale. And we noticed that even at the half price mark, we're still overpriced according to the current market. We just noticed that this morning. That's bad.
Yep. And so I think if that one specifically, I think I'm going to take down the individual listings. I'm going to create a listing of them together because they are a set. They're both dressed in fancy dresses and outfits, and I'm just going to list them at a very competitive price.
Yeah, probably together for less than one of them is priced for right now.
Yep.
So the market changed on us big time.
It did.
And we didn't notice it, and we didn't pay attention to it. We just listed it and forgot it. And that was just an extra couple of pounds on our store. It just got worse. So our sell-through rate went down just because of those 2 items, because the market changed on us.
Yep.
Or we priced them poorly. But I think we priced them according to what it was at the time.
Yep. Another one would be just in general a bad listing. Like you have crappy photos, you have a bad, what do you call that thing? Title.
Yeah, titles,
Title.
descriptions, the whole, and we won't deep dive into what makes a good listing here, but for sure in our early days of listing in that first year, we had horrible pictures. We still have plenty of items up that have just crazy bad pictures. And if you look at the competition, they have really good pictures and they're selling, but ours won't move because it looks like
it looks like a second grader took the picture.
Yeah, they're not they're not good. We're not representing the product at all well, and it's just not going to move that way.
Nope, I know what it is. My granddaughter took a picture because remember she goes from here up.
Yeah, it's not good. So bad listings, just in general, bad listings can actually really affect whether your product sells. And if it's just sitting on a shelf, again, it's killing your sell-through rate. It's making your store unhealthy. It's not helping you at all. And you're running out of inventory space.
Another one. We found this one when we did our partial inventory that we did. We got like 50% way through our inventory. But it was delisted items. Something that eBay just randomly delisted for some reason and it's no longer gone. But now it's sitting in our totes or on a shelf. Can't sell it if it's not out there.
Yep. And we've actually inventoried like half the totes in here at one point, and we found like a dozen items that had been delisted off eBay. Not for Vero or anything, they just kind of eventually disappear. So if you're not staying on top of that, then you are gradually every year getting more and more items that are just sitting here. And worse than any of the bad listings, they're just not listed at all.
Yep.
So that'll get you. And I would say probably the final one, which I can relate to more, is just plain old not being a good picker. And I'm not trying to insult anybody, nor myself. It's just sometimes you get into a category that you know nothing about and you're experimenting and you're paying your tuition, as we call it. But that does mean you often pick things that are not good.
Hats.
But because you list them, because you have them, you list them. And that's generally a bad idea.
Did I throw you off?
You didn't throw me off. I know I suck at hats, but I'm getting better.
But you know what, though? We listed a Notre Dame hat, a vintage Notre Dame hat the other day. 6
of them.
I know, but I'm talking about just the one in general. And within probably 5 minutes of it hitting the market, we were getting offers saying, and offers are turned off on it because we know it's worth it. We know it's going to sell. We're getting messages saying, the one said, I'll give you $40. That's like not even half price of what we listed it for. And I'll pay now. And I'm pretty sure we've gotten them all the way up to $60 for it. But I mean, we just listed it, so...
Yeah, I know we've had at least 10 or 12 messages on that hat in 24 hours.
Yep.
So it's a very desirable hat, so we've got offers off for now. That one, I know will sell. It may not sell at that price. We may at some point say, okay, we didn't hit the market price on it, but we have the only one. There's not another one like it.
Correct.
So we're going to sit on our price for a while.
We are.
That's a bad example of a 6 store, though. That's the kind of item you want.
Yes.
But if you pick 100 items, you might only get 1 or 2 of those.
Yep, that is correct.
That's what leads to your store being sick is these type of things. These are the ones that we thought of. Now I'm betting there's more that we've missed.
There is. Oh, I'm sure.
These are just the common ones that we know because we're experiencing at least one of every one of these. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the things that could cause the store to be sick. That's why our store is sick. So, all right, what actually sold next?
We sold a tie clip. We sold a vintage men's Swank brand, gold tone, peace symbol tie clip.
It is. It's a peace symbol.
Make sure it's right way up. That's upside down.
Or a Volkswagen symbol. It depends on how you're looking at it. It could be either, I guess.
That came out of our Commons buy.
Yep.
That we bought.
Yep. I think we bought that from Tim over the years. We bought a bunch of tie clips and cufflinks, and we've done pretty good with those.
Yep.
So that's the guy that sold for how much?
$25 free shipping.
There you go.
But that's one that I think I can get away with putting in a bubble mailer because it's so flat.
If you wrap it in a piece of cardboard, I think you could, yep.
Okay. When we were down picking, that was in Omaha, or in Lincoln when we did that, right? So. I picked up a whole box of cut and sew patterns. In that cut and sew patterns was this random fabric. It is a basketball field.
Oh, I thought it was a bowling alley.
Or basketball field. Basketball field.
Sports people.
It's a basketball court. So it's a full-length piece of fabric that has the entire basketball court on it. And the person that bought them came in and bought both of them. And they sold it's by a person named Robert Kaufman. I don't know if that matters.
That's the fabric. I actually thought it was a bowling alley.
No,
but it's not. It is a basketball court. What those sell for?
$22.02.
There you go. All right, so we know the store is sick. We know it has problems. We know there's several reasons it could have the problem, so we need to diagnose what the problem is for our store and more specific what the problem is on each one of our items that is a year, 2 years, 3 years old, why they're not selling, and try to get the store back on its feet a little bit.
Yeah, we need to do some diagnosing and analyzing. I had to think about that word. I was going to say analysis. That is the right word, but the correct proper use of it is analyze.
Yep. And I think the only way to do that is to do a very thorough inventory.
Yep.
Like not just check to see if the item's there and it's listed and it's in the right tote, but we need to look at everything as we're doing it. And if the item is more than, say, 6 months old, we need to actually be looking at, are the pictures okay? We need to recomp it and see if that market switched on us or changed on us. Are we overpriced or underpriced? We need to see if it's been delisted. Is it even on eBay anymore? What else? What else do we need to do?
I think it's primarily just the inventory to go through and see, look at the items themselves, because maybe you missed something when you were listing it. Like it's missing something or it's broken or, I have done that. I listed an entire Department 56 house and did not even realize the chimney had been broken repaired. Yep. I don't know how I missed it, but I did.
Well, and we also need to check to see, is there a market anymore?
Yep.
Sometimes markets completely crash and go away. And sometimes you just have totes full of actual garbage. And I will say, like, reselling kind of fosters the same type of, it fosters hoarders. It really does. It teaches you to look for value in everything. So it's hard to throw things away when you see value in everything.
Yeah.
And it could very quickly turn into, well, I have this inventory. It's already listed. The work's done. I might as well hold on to it. I know it has value. Sometimes shit is just shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the big thing we realized with that is when we were going through our entire mounds of clothes from that free stuff, that you're going through and you're like, oh, they're nice clothes, but it's got one little stain on it. And it's not a name brand, so you're not going to sell it, so you just throw it away. So
nobody wants a Walmart blouse that's got a big stain down the shoulder. Like, it was $12 when they bought it new. That doesn't mean it's worth $8 now.
No.
There's a reason doctors' offices throw away the stool samples. They don't keep them. Like, you got to get rid of stuff.
I can't. What?
I think I broke her. Yeah, everything isn't worth keeping.
No, it's not. And it's really hard as somebody, I guess for me, growing up, and this is probably going to be personal, whatever, but for me, growing up as a family, with 7 kids, we didn't get new stuff all that often.
Yeah.
So we took value in hand-me-downs and used things, and there was all that there. And so I think that's the piece of me that's hard to say, let's just chuck it.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could buy jeans without stains growing up. Like, I thought they just came that way. But they didn't. Like, you could buy them brand new and they don't have those on them, which...
But back in the day, too, you used to be able to buy jeans that didn't have holes in them, and your mama would put a patch in your hole, and now you buy jeans and they just got holes all over.
Yeah, so, I really do think it's a bit of a mental illness to find value in everything sometimes. You do have to learn to let go, and you need to set a hard line somewhere to figure out when you're going to let stuff go, and then bite the bullet and just do it. You don't have to throw it away. Go donate it if you have to. If you just can't make yourself put it in a garbage can, I'm much more likely to take a tote of stuff and just go dump it in the dumpster. Teresa can't do that. Like, it physically hurts her.
It does. It makes my tummy hurt.
So we often donate stuff, but you have to have a line somewhere.
Yeah. You have to figure out your spot to say, I can't do this no more.
Well, you don't have to, but if you want to make a living at this and you don't want to own like 40 Morton buildings, you probably do. You need to make a line.
I know somebody who needs to make a line.
I know a few people that are just buried in their own stuff that...
Are you thinking the same one I am?
Yeah.
The smoky place?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we know there's a store here that's kind of like that, and everywhere we go, We see this person buying.
Oh,
And it doesn't even seem like price is an issue. He just wants to own it.
No, he just wants to own it and buy it, and then he jacks it up to above eBay price or at eBay price.
And he's just buried in it. Like he owns multiple buildings and they're stacked to the ceiling. Like his children and his grandchildren couldn't clear them out. They're just going to have to burn them and
that place, I would just come in, even though there's so much cool stuff in there.
I'd dig a hole beside it and push it over.
So much Pyrex. There is so many cool old things that I don't think people would have nowadays. Even though nowadays kids don't want anything that was cool, like from back in our day.
They're starting to.
Yeah, that place, I would almost just pay somebody to come in and just light it.
Yep, it's bad. So
a test fire.
You have to avoid that, and I think reselling really fosters that. All right, so we drug that section out quite a bit.
We did, but it needed to be talked about. We got to talk about the diagnosis. Like we already have the sickness.
The first step to curing your store is admitting you have a problem.
That is right, and we don't have a 1-800 number to give you if you figure it out.
Nor do we have 12 steps, but we're going to work through this. We're going to do it together because we need to do it. So we're going to let you watch as we kind of look at our own problems.
Yep.
This is just one problem. We have a lot of problems. So what's sold next?
We sold some stuff out of I think this came out of our second storage unit, but it is a Hart Compact multi-tool and multi-tool axe with a carrying case.
All right, so I'm not going to take these out. These are like generic Hart brand, like, I don't know.
They're brand new.
They are brand new, and they're in really good shape. But I mean, this is something you would buy from like one of those off-brand tool stores. There's nothing
Northern
fancy
Tool.
about them. Like
Northern Tool.
Maybe Northern Tool. So
Ace.
That's it. There's a little, it's like a multi-tool hatchet. It has a hatchet, but the handle folds out into different things too.
It's super cute.
So that's what's sold. And they were part of a storage unit, so we have nothing in them. Oh, are you trying to show them?
Yep, hopefully it comes across.
So what do we sell that for?
We sold that for $17 plus shipping.
All right, the next one is a great big one.
The next one I was excited about. So we bought one of these at a garage sale, and I bought some other Mr. Christmas stuff at the same time. And the last one sold right before we went to, where was it that we went? Oh, right before we went to Bargains for You on 92.
Yep, and that's where we found another one.
I did. I found this one and I was so excited. And this one's a bonus though, because it has the extra lights and the extra little drum handles that the little guys hold.
Yeah, this one was more complete than the last one we sold.
Yep, but it is a vintage 1994 Mr. Christmas Santa's musical toy chest, animated toy chest. So the little drummer guys drum and it lights up.
They drum sideways?
They do. They go
sideways.
sideways.
Oh, like marching band drums. Okay.
Yeah, they go
so
sideways.
So that's the big box that sold. And that sold for how much?
Oh, you know what? It sold for $94.99, but that came in our huge find in Lincoln with all the boxes on the yard.
It did. Yep, it did.
Okay, so once you figure out you have a sickness, you figure out what it is, and you figure out a diagnosis, how do you cure it or prevent it? I think the big thing is setting an inventory process. I really honestly think that you need to do a yearly check, just like you do for when you go to the doctor. You need a yearly checkup. This is coming from Nurse Teresa. Do your yearly checkup.
And it's going to suck. Like, I really do think you have to commit yourself to doing this yearly. Otherwise, you end up back in the same spot. Think of it as a colonoscopy. You don't have to do that yearly, but this is something that's painful and you don't want to do it, and it just needs to be done. So go, just get it done, suffer through it. And it's probably going to prevent this from happening later down the road. That's what it is. It's early prevention. That's what we're trying to promote here.
Yes. So
stop the problem early.
Like we talked about, like we talked about in the last one, do a thorough inventory. Don't just check to see if your items are in there, if they're on eBay, if they're listed. Go through and look at your pictures, look at your pricing, recomp stuff to make sure. And if it's something that's crappy and will never sell, like Campbell's soup bowls.
Remember that line we talked about? This is where you use that line. Yep.
Set a line.
Cut it off. Lance the boil. Get rid of it.
God, quit saying that. He said that earlier when we were discussing this, and that is so disgusting. It's going to go.
Yep. Sometimes you have to cut the sickness out. I mean, you really do. You have to get rid of stuff. But she's right. The pricing, the photos, how long it's been on the store, figure out where that line is, that cutoff line where no matter what you've done, it hasn't sold and you need to get rid of it, and actually commit yourself
Follow
to getting rid of it.
through.
Yep.
I tell people that all the time in the axe throwing. Like, they'll throw the axes like this, and I always have to tell them, you got to follow through.
So, completely irrelevant to this, but I catch the analogy.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, you have to, and we are horrible at it. I mean, we did a 50% inventory of our store last winter and have not touched it since. So
And we've actually, we do some pretty aggressive sales. We do 20, 30, 40% off. This time we're running 50% off. And there's a good chunk of our stuff that won't even sell at 50% off. That's a problem. Like, if you can't sell it at half the price that you said was the market value,
yep.
don't be delusional and think that you just got unlucky and it didn't sell.
I thought you were gonna say something.
What'd you think I was going to say?
It sounded like you said diddle. I thought you were gonna say don't diddle around.
Well, don't diddle around and don't be delusional. Don't kid yourself. If you can't sell it at half the market price, then it's probably not going to sell for some reason. You need to figure out what, or get rid of it completely. So I think it comes down to not being afraid to get rid of it.
Yep, and setting an inventory process is also not just, yearly. I think you need to decide on yourself how often you do it. Because it may be yearly. It may be every 6 months.
It may be every week. Maybe one day a week while you're in here, you commit to inventory in one tote. Maybe every Thursday you're going to inventory one tote. And do it very, very thoroughly, and then put a sticker on. Like, we put little smiley face stickers on ours when they're inventoried.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna have to get new stickers.
Maybe put a label on it, and you can mark the date you inventoried the tote or something. But that way, every week you can do one, and you can kind of stay on top of it because you're in a constant cycle.
FYI, if we do one, it's gonna take us 2 years to go through our stuff.
Yeah, so we might have to do like 10, but that's what I mean. We have to do it because we shouldn't even have this much stuff.
No.
I mean, I would say 60% of our store is over a year old.
I don't know if I'd say that.
I'll bet it. Well, actually, I know it is because I just put the 50% sale on for anything over a year old, and there was over 1,500 items, and we only have like a 3,400 item store, something like that, 4,000. So we're getting up there. That's way too high a percentage to be over a year old.
Yep.
So, and there are exceptions. So don't yell at us about, well, we have this item and it's just long tail. We get that. There are exceptions, but if you've identified that and you know that it'll sell and it's just long tail, then you've already diagnosed that, and that's not one of the problems.
Nope. And we do have some long tail items.
We do. So, all right.
Puzzles.
Let's look at the rest of what's sold.
We sold some Tupperware. This is not even an old Tupperware. It is a Tupperware Legacy teal and white oval microwave server with lid, and it has a spoon.
There's something floating around there. It's a spoon.
But the best piece is this one is all matching colors. Most of them I seen had a different colored bowl with a different colored little handle lid and a different colored spoon.
I have to put that down. It's noisy.
So that one sold for $19.99 plus shipping, and I only paid $1 for it.
All right. Next, we sold a ball.
We did. We actually sold 2 of these this weekend. They're my last 2 balls. It is
made in China.
It is a peach art glass round ball paperweight with bubbles.
It's kind of cool. It's just a paperweight.
I have another white one that's like twice that size.
And we do tend to kind of pick these up when they're really cheap. We don't grab them if they're over $1 or $2. So
do you know where that one came from?
I don't.
It came from our estate sale buyout.
Did it?
Yep, both of them that sold came from our estate sale buyout.
So that paperweight sold for how much?
$14.99.
So there you go.
For a glass ball.
Selling glass balls with bubbles in them. I like it.
So I know I beat this horse.
You beat a horse?
I beat a dead horse.
No
Is that
animals.
how that goes? Is that how it goes?
No animals were harmed during the making of this video, I promise.
So I do just want to give another reminder out there. We've gotten some more details. We went on a trip for the Planes to Profit. We did some more work on it, which I'm super excited about. But go get your tickets if you haven't already. We look forward to meeting you and seeing you.
Is that all you got?
That's what I got.
All right, guys. Here's to a healthy store. Good luck with it. We will see you next time.
Hasta la vista from Nurse Teresa.